Okay, we're gonna have some special friends up here to tell a little story in just a little while. This is all our growing-up song, huh? We all went through it. Okay. Give it to me, Doctor. I think Bruce wrote this back in 1971. There was you know what? I got a small quiz for you guys. There's one question. What was it that Bruce got sent home for doing in his desk? That's right, he was pissing in his desk. Go figure. He's a misguided kid. And he had to go. Well, I stood stone like in midnight, suspended in my masquerade. Well, I combed my hair, it was just right. I commanded the night brigade. Well, I was open to pain and crossed by the rain. I walked on a crooked crutch. Well, I strolled all along through a fallout zone. I came out with my soul untouched. I hit in the pull-out and walked for the crowd. Well, they said, sit down, sit down. all of a sudden it got real quiet.
Yeah, got real
I
quiet.
heard some thunder